And we finished some slices already, some slides already. So now let's discuss about this again as a review, and also we can wait for your classmates who are joining the class. Let's. And I just want to ask Savanari.
Yes.
Savanari,
Huh?
okay, can you share with us? You're afraid of something?
You're afraid of something? It means fear of something, teacher.
Yes.
Okay. I am afraid of ghosts only because I don't know because when I was young, I've been seeing ghosts
Mm-hmm.
near, yes. So and then my mind when I stay in the dark, I feel like I am scared the ghost, but not people. I'm scared the ghost.
Okay, when you were young, but how about now? You still fear,
No, now it's not still not see no see anymore.
yeah, you not scared of ghosts anymore, but you scared of human being, correct?
No, no. Sometimes, yeah, sometimes not scared every time, but sometimes,
Sometimes.
yeah, not, yes, not always
Do
scared.
you believe in ghosts?
Yes.
Oh yes.
Because my house is near Pagoda, so that's why has a lot of
Have
ghosts.
Have you ever seen one?
Like the ghosts, yeah, I imagine when I after
Uh,
I watch the movie and then I see, I
okay.
don't know, but I
That
still
that
I
that
still
that
think
that yeah, that is just your feeling, correct?
yeah.
So sometimes feeling dominates who we are. Do
Yes.
you agree? If you feel
Yes.
scared of something, fear of something, and then your bodies become weak, right or wrong?
Yes.
Even the way you think, you don't think so much at that moment because you are fear of something. Your mind constantly focusing on that object goes, for example. The same way with studying English. If you afraid of speaking English, if you're afraid of doing the presentation in public, having English conversation with your friend in public, so they're gonna be the same thing. When you fear, you're afraid of those things, your capabilities uh, become weaker and weaker. All right, but one I give you example for goals. You see exactly, all right, how it inspire your thinking capability, make you become weaker and weaker. But you can apply this notion with every situation, everything, with whatever you feel fear of that make you weaker. But if you want to be strong with something that you fear of, for example, you fear that in the future you cannot get a good job. You fear that in the future, after you learn for 4 years, you cannot speak English very well. So what should you do in order to uh, to win over or to conquer your fear? The question here have you to be more confident, have you to be stronger. But if you just, you know, fear of something without any reason, without finding any reason behind that, then that fear gonna make you weaker and weaker. But if you find the reasons and you have a strong purpose of what you fear about, then you're gonna be stronger. Correct or not? I remember when I was a student, I was not a good student actually when I was in high school and bachelor degree, but I was, proud of myself when I was a student, uh, when I studied for the master level. At that times, I was fear a lot, about my study, about the result, about everything. And what did I do? I have to drop out from the school, or I have to pass, or I have to to try very hard in order to get what I want. So I don't know. I did not have a kind of skill at that times. My English was very poor, and even I studied at master level, my English was very poor at that time, and I never read a book, so I have no basic knowledge on educations, on philosophy and other things, and I have no choice. So I say, okay, I think maybe I'm not going to pass my master level. I think I am not my level is not much with the degree. Okay, if I am asked to speak in front of people in the class, so my classmates, my teacher is gonna laugh at me, and I'm gonna feel embarrassed at that moment. So I just think a lot, a lot of negative thought come to me, and the more I think, the more I feel fear about them, those kind of things. But I just talk to myself. I have no choice. I have to accomplish what I am doing right now. So I set up a goals and then find out the reasons why I feel fear of those, and I try to get rid of them one by one, and I just keep doing what I think would help me to accomplish what I am doing. Even some that at that time I drank coffee three times a day because I want to keep myself awake, keep reading, practicing and everything. As a result, I passed successfully with good results. Right. So fear can be positive, can be negative. Can be what I mean by positive and negative. Fear can be a negative force, can be a positive force for you. It pushes you to be in the right direction, to be in the right direction or in the wrong direction. If you find out the reason behind that, and sometimes fear is your big motivation, for you to carry on your work, for you to do your job, for you to study. So try to look at it positively, all right? Be optimistic about what is surrounding you. Can be fear, can be motivations or everything. You must be optimistic about. Find out the reason and get advantages over those phenomena because all exists inside you. It is your feeling, it is your emotions, all right? Example, you are afraid of ghosts. Okay, it is happen inside you. This is your feeling. And once you're afraid, you dare not to walk alone at night. You don't want to walk out. Don't want to get out from your rooms. Even you, you want example at night. You have to go to the toilet, but you feel, scared of something. So it prevents you from doing something that you're supposed to do. Those things are negative forces. Okay, try to transfer them. Learn how to transfer ugliness to beauty. All right, guys, that is the important thing. All right, so we already discussed a lot about this, and I'm not going to talk about that again, but we already talked much enough, 10 minutes about this. So we can go to this one, right? Is it correct? Yep. All right, this one, listening and speaking, fears and phobias. What do you mean by phobias? Similar to the word fears here. It's just you are afraid of something, scared of something. All right, but let's go and look at this thing together. What are typical phobias that people have? Make a list. Are you afraid of anything? So phobia here, afraid of, right? Afraid of anything. So I already asked Sawandari, right? She's afraid of ghosts. How about the students? So let me ask. Okay, so I want to ask Sayuan. Are you afraid of anything?
Yeah, teacher.
No? Oh,
I'm of one anymore.
one animal. What is it?
It is snake.
Snake. Okay, snake. All right. Can you describe why it led you to be afraid of that kind of animal?
Yeah, I don't know why. So when I see the snake, I feel scared.
Hmm. And you just want to
I don't
run
know.
away.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah, I don't know why I feel scared when I see this since I was young, teacher.
Okay. Since you was young until now. Okay. And how about other animal, insects or whatever? You don't have problem with them, but only with
Yeah,
snake.
I have problem.
Okay.
Only with snake.
Okay. Thank you very much. How about um Charlie? What are you afraid of? Or are you afraid of anything? No. Okay.
Teacher.
Okay. Okay. I don't have the answer from you. Okay. Hướng, Dương Hướng. Are you afraid of something?
Yes, sure, I'm afraid of snake.
Snake as well. Okay. Can you describe, when
Like I when I live in my old house, there are a lot of trees, so I often see snake, and I am afraid of it. Something like that. Yeah.
uh have
Because I
snake,
see a lot.
have you ever bitten by snake?
No,
No. Do they come and attack you?
not exactly, teacher.
Not
Just I
exactly.
saw.
You just see the appearance, of the snake, and then you feel scared of, afraid of.
Yes.
Okay, okay. Okay. Sometimes you see appearance is important. People feel in love with you or feel scared of you because of the appearance. So you need to be careful. You have to look at the mirror before you come out. I'm just kidding. Okay. Now for Sapon, are you afraid of anything?
I'm scared of um.
Can you speak louder and close to your mic?
Yeah, teacher.
Mhm.
I am afraid of crocodile.
Crocodile.
Very
Yes.
dangerous.
Okay. How often do you see crocodile?
I never seen.
You never. I mean, you seen it in the picture, correct?
Yeah, teacher.
But
Time I see in the news.
yeah, the real one you never seen them. But why you need to be scared of something that you never met?
Yeah, but I saw in the news, teacher. So be
Oh,
afraid.
you just see it and then you feel scared of it. All right. Okay. Let me ask one more student. Pajada, are you
Yes,
afraid?
teacher. I'm afraid of staying in the high position.
Oh, when you are in the high building, right?
Yes,
Oh, very high. Tall buildings, very high.
yes, like that, or on tree, or like that.
Okay.
I don't know, but I can't control my body. Like suddenly, when I walk on that height, um,
Have you ever traveled by plane?
no,
No. Uh, okay, so you may not get the feeling of being in the air, in the airplane, but it's okay, For me, also afraid of height, but I travel by planes many times. I feel like we are in the bus. Okay, and thank you very much for your answer. I'm not going to continue. So I have a numbers of things that people fear of or phobia of. You can say phobia or fear of or afraid of are the same meaning. Spiders, right? Do you love spiders? Some people really phobia of dogs. Insects, snakes is very common thing, right? Most people fear of flying, heights, the dark. Okay, bacteria, germs, right? Needles, injections. Recently, Cambodian people have to get vaccinated. How about you guys? Have you got one already? One or two? Think?
yes, teacher.
Okay,
I
have you
have
got the,
vaccinated the
yeah,
2 dose already.
two doses already? So are you
Yes.
fear of injection?
No.
No, it's okay, right? Okay.
Yes.
All right. Some, some people they cries when they are being injected. Okay, how about Kamjan? Have you got COVID-19 vaccinations?
Yes, I got it already, child.
Okay. How about injections? Are you fear of it?
Little.
Little bit, right? Okay. All right. Sometimes uh you fear of injection. For example, just say you have fear of injections. So when you fear of injections, and because you have one more fear, which is COVID-19, all right? So which one is bigger? COVID-19 is bigger. So then you don't care about injection anymore. Even you try to avoid injections because you fear of it, but you have another reason to get injection. Then you don't care about injections. Fear is like that. It is actually inside you. You make yourself powerful or less powerful. It is you yourself. That's why we said that you should be committed doing something. Once you are committed, you are determined in doing something, you're gonna be great at it. All right. Dying. How about the monk? Let us the monk. Vulnerable third. Are you afraid of dying?
Yes, yes,
Yes.
yes, sure.
Oh, you're afraid of dying. Anicang tukkang anatta. You learn that.
Yes, I
What is
know,
it?
but
Yeah.
I know, but I'm still afraid of it.
Anicca, dukkha. I don't know spelling. You can check. And anatta, anatta. Anicang, what is it? Impermanent, right?
Yes,
Yeah, I don't know. And this one, suffering. But you're still afraid of dying, okay? This one, non-self. Okay, this is the three characteristic of beings. Impermanent, changing, this one, suffering, non-self. Okay, how about drowning? Drowning, right? Close, small spaces. Okay, we call claustrophobia, and public open spaces, agoraphobia. Okay, these are things that people fear of. Right? Okay, so we can go to the next one. Work with a partner, match the phobias in the chart with the definition, compare your answer. We think autophobia is fear of. So we have four types of phobia here. We have autophobia, ablu, okay, ablunophobia. This one not two, they pronounce no. Ablunophobia. This one evi, right? Eviophobia, and this one frigophobia. So I want you to match this phobia, okay, with the kind of definition. Uh, just give you one example. Okay, autophobia is the fear of being alone. So autophobia is a fear of being alone. So this one done. Okay. So number we have three more. I would like you to match by yourself. So you can use the dictionary, or you can, just think and make guess away. So I think you can have around just 3 minutes. Think about them. We will check the answer at 9:08. Okay, you can match them in the book, or you can check dictionary. Up to you. Deeper. Okay. All right, please. Oh, 9:09. Yeah. Okay, now thank you very much. So now let's check together. How about the second one? Ablunophobia. Ablunophobia is a fear of.
Washing,
Flying.
washing,
Okay, somebody say washing,
Fear of
right?
flying.
Flying. Okay, fear of flying. Okay, so this one is the fear of washing. Instead of washing, you feel fear of, very strange, right? Okay, how about phobia? Is a fear of
Flying.
flying, right? Flying, not buying, flying. Okay, it's a fear of flying. How about phrygophobia? Is it fear of bird? Freak, right? This one cold. Fear of feeling cold.
Feeling cold.
Yeah. Okay, so I would like someone to read this. So, Srimom, can you read the answer here again for your friends?
Okay, teacher. Autophobia is the fear of being alone. Aplophobia is the fear of washing. Aviphobia is the fear of flying. Uh, Phrygophobia is the fear of feeling cold.
Okay, thank you very much. And you just learned this word, phobia. Phobia mean scared of or afraid of. All right, or fear of something. And then you say autophobia, ablunophobia, aviophobia, and phrygophobia. All right. I don't think you have any question with this one. Just learn new words, right? What do they mean? And this one, it is not about like understanding. You just need um, only your memory. If you remember this thing, okay, that's it, and be able to use them in the context in conversation. That's right. Okay, so you need to remember this if you want to progress with it. Okay, now let's go to the next one. The next one is a listening practice. Some people have strange phobias. Strange phobia. If you see from this one, they say uh, like ablunophobia is the fear of washing. Is it strange, everyone? So strange, right? All right. So some people have strange phobias. Listen to Jody, Gavins, and Malaysia talk about their phobias. After each one, discuss this question as a class. So there are 5 questions for you. So you have to listen to them and answer these 5 questions. Number one, which part of the cartoon would make them panic? Scare off. Which part of the cartoon? I think you also have this picture in your textbook. Oh, yeah, you have in your. Oh, what happened? Okay. All right. Number two, how did their phobia start? So remember, there are 3 people, Judy, Gavin, and Malaysia. You have to answer each of them. Number three, how does it affect their lives? That is important thing. Okay, does your phobia affect your life right now or not? Okay, number four, what caused the panic attack? And number five, have they tried to cure their phobia? Have they tried to overcome the phobia? Okay, so before we listen, I want Mr. Thun to read the question again for your friends. Thun, please read again. How? Miss.
Hello, teacher.
Yeah, hello. Why it takes so long time?
Because I need to plug my headphone.
Okay, please. Now you can read the questions.
Number one, which part of the cartoon would make them panic? Number two, how did the phobia start? Number three, how does it affect their life? Number four, what caused their panic attack? Number five, have they tried to cure their phobia?
Okay, thank you very much. Rachana, can you read again, please?
Yeah, teacher. Number one, which part of the cartoon would make them picnic? Two, how did their phobia start?
3. How does it affect their lives? 4. What caused their panic attack? 5. How they try to cause their phobias?
Sure.
Sure.
Okay. Oh, what happened at your place?
It's nói teacher.
Yeah. Okay, that's okay. All right. Hopefully you can pay attention. Okay. Now, right now I'm gonna play the tapes to you. I will play it 2 times, and you can listen and answer all the questions. All right. 5 questions. Remember, these 5 questions are about Jody, Gavin, and Melissa. Now here we go. Are you ready, everyone?
Yes.
Okay. Here we go.
Tape script 8.5. Fears and phobias. 1. Jody.
I have a really unusual phobia. It began when I was a little girl. I was staying with my grandmother and she asked me to go upstairs and get her cardigan. I opened the cupboard and saw this big, dark green cardigan with huge black buttons hanging there. I was terrified. I started screaming. My grandmother rushed upstairs and finally managed to calm me down. But from then on, it was a problem. It was the buttons. All buttons made me feel uncomfortable. It's difficult for me to buy clothes. I try to find skirts and trousers with just belts and zips, but it's not easy. About a year ago, a button came off a colleague's jacket at work, and I had a panic attack. I've decided to see a psychotherapist, but I'm embarrassed to say I'm scared of buttons. It sounds silly.
2. Gavin.
I'm not sure what first started my phobia, but my dad used to go fishing, and afterwards I didn't like watching him cleaning the fish in the kitchen sink. Then, when I was about 7, I started feeling afraid when I saw him coming home with a fish. He had to stop catching it. As I grew up, the problem got worse and worse. I couldn't go into supermarkets. The sight of fish made me feel sick. When I started going out with my wife, I had to ask her never to eat fish. I didn't go to restaurants because once I saw someone eating an oyster and I had a panic attack. I can only eat in hamburger bars now. It makes life very difficult for my whole family. I've started to see a psychologist, but I haven't succeeded in conquering my phobia yet.
3. Melissa.
I'm 13 years old, and I've been terrified of balloons since I was 5. I was trying to blow one up, and it popped in my face. I can remember feeling the rubber on my skin. Ooh, it was awful. My friends don't understand. They enjoy chasing me around with blown-up balloons because they think it's fun to see me cry. Last time, we were in the school playground and I had a panic attack. At first, they refused to believe me and they didn't get the teacher, but then they saw how bad it was. I was having difficulty breathing and they got frightened. The worst thing is that I can't go to parties. If I do, I have to ask them not to have balloons. I can't imagine ever blowing one up. I can't even look at them on TV. I start to shake. I want to see somebody about it. My teacher says I have to.
Okay, guys. So now let's listen again.
Tape script 8.5. Fears and phobias. 1. Jody.
I have a really unusual phobia. It began when I was a little girl. I was staying with my grandmother and she asked me to go upstairs and get her cardigan. I opened the cupboard and saw this big, dark green cardigan with huge black buttons hanging there. I was terrified. I started screaming.
My grandmother rushed upstairs and finally managed to calm me down. But from then on, it was a problem. It was the buttons. All buttons made me feel uncomfortable. It's difficult for me to buy clothes. I try to find skirts and trousers with just belts and zips, but it's not easy. About a year ago, a button came off a colleague's jacket at work, and I had a panic attack. I've decided to see a psychotherapist, but I'm embarrassed to say I'm scared of buttons. It sounds silly.
2. Gavin.
I'm not sure what first started my phobia, but my dad used to go fishing, and afterwards I didn't like watching him cleaning the fish in the kitchen sink. Then, when I was about 7, I started feeling afraid when I saw him coming home with the fish. He had to stop catching it. As I grew up, the problem got worse and worse. I couldn't go into supermarkets. The sight of fish made me feel sick. When I started going out with my wife, I had to ask her never to eat fish. I didn't go to restaurants because once I saw someone eating an oyster and I had a panic attack. I can only eat in hamburger bars now. It makes life very difficult for my whole family. I've started to see a psychologist, but I haven't succeeded in conquering my phobia yet.
3. Melissa.
I'm 13 years old and I've been terrified of balloons since I was 5. I was trying to blow one up and it popped in my face. I can remember feeling the rubber on my skin. Ooh, it was awful. My friends don't understand. They enjoy chasing me around with blown up balloons because they think it's fun to see me cry. Last time we were in the school playground and I had a panic attack. At first they refused to believe me and they didn't get the teacher, but then they saw how bad it was. I was having difficulty breathing and they got frightened. The worst thing is that I can't go to parties. If I do, I have to ask them not to have balloons. I can't imagine ever blowing one up. I can't even look at them on TV. I start to shake. I want to see somebody about it. My teacher says I have to.
Okay, everyone. Have you got all the answer for these questions? Okay, now let's start with Jody. All right, Jody. Which part of the cartoon would make her panic? Anyone can answer the question? So you can see the cartoon here, right? Which part of the cartoon?
Button.
The button, right? Okay. Okay, sorry. This one is the for them all. So the fish standing on the hill is wearing a hat, right? This is just describe this, and waistcoats with big buns and holding 3 balloons. Someone is running away. Okay, this is just only describe this picture. And now let's go to number 1 with Jody. All right. So this is the tape script of Jody and the answer. So I'm gonna play one by one for you again, for you to practice the transcript as well. So now, Jody, right, the buttons on the waistcoat, right? The button on the waistcoat. Okay, number 2. How did their phobia start? How did her phobia start?
When she opened the cupboard and saw this big.
Mister, I could not hear from you.
Yeah, can you hear me, teacher?
Yeah.
Yeah, when she opened the cupboard, and then she saw that big, the bottom on her grandmother coordination, and she was terrified.
Okay, it started when she was a little girl, right?
Yeah.
She saw a button on her grandmom's cardigan and she was terrified. Okay, how about number 3? How does it affect their lives? How does it affect her life?
It's like it's difficult for her to buy a clothes for herself because she when she saw the clothes, she like her feeling like imagine to that bad like
A
bad thing
phobia,
that
right?
yes.
Okay. Okay, it's difficult for her to buy clothes. She tried to find skirts and trousers with just bells and zip, right? No, without any buttons. Okay, number 5. What caused her panic attack? Okay, guys. Right. See, Kamjan, turn on microphone, but I don't hear anything from you.
Is now for the cause their panic is like about a year ago. A bottom came off the college jacket at work and she had a panic attack.
Oh, okay. A button came off a college jacket at work. All right, that panic attack. Okay, number 5. Have they tried to cure their phobia? Oh, have has he tried to cure her phobia?
She decided to meet a pico, picologist, but she embarrassed to say that she is scared of a bottom.
Okay, right. She decided to see the psychotherapist, right? People who help you to be better with your psychology. All right, so these are the answer for the Jody. But before that, we can read this thing together here before we go to the next one. So I'll read for you first, then I will ask someone to read. Okay, Jody, I have a really unusual phobia. It began when I was a little girl. I was staying with my grandmother's and she asked me to go upstairs and get her cardigan. I opened the cupboards and saw this big dark green cardigan with huge black buttons hanging there. I was terrified, started screaming. My grandmother rushed upstairs and finally managed to calm me down. But from then on, it was a problem. It was the buttons. All buttons make me feel uncomfortable. It's difficult for me to buy clothes. I try to find skirts and trousers with just bells and zips, but it's not easy. About years ago, a bottom came off a college jacket at work and I had a panic attack. I decided to see a psychotherapist, but I am embarrassed to say I'm scared of buttons. It sounds silly. Okay, so based upon, can you read this one again?
Yeah, teacher. 1, 2 days. I have a really unusual. It began when I was a little girl. I was staying with my grandmother, and she asked me to go to upstairs and get the cardigan. I opened the cupboard and saw this bag, the green cardigan with hung black bottom hanging there. I was terrified. I started screaming, screaming. My grandmother rushed upstairs and finally managed to calm me down. But from then on, it was a problem. It was a bottom make me feel uncomfortable. It is difficult for me to buy clothes. I try to find skirt and trousers with just belt and shape, but it is not easy. About a years ago, a bottom came off the college's jacket at work and I had panic attack. I have decided to see high school high school
Okay, psychotherapist.
psychotherapist, but I am embarrassed to say I scared of bottom. It sounds silly.
Okay, is it silly to feel scared of bun? Then you have to wear t-shirt all the time, right? Okay. Okay, now let's go to the next one. This is for who is it? Okay, this is for who is it, everyone? Yeah.
Gavin, Raja.
Yeah, Gavin, you are right. So Gavin, which part of the cartoon would make him panic?
The head of fish.
Fish, right?
Yes.
Okay. So the fish. All right, the fish. How did his phobia start? I should cover this transcript actually. Okay, so how did his phobia start?
His phobia started when he was about 7 years old.
Okay, right. He isn't sure when it started. His dad used to go fishing, and Gavin didn't watch him cleaning the fish. When he was about 7, yeah, he started feeling afraid when he saw his dad coming home with the fish. Okay, number 3. How does it affect his life?
After that, he couldn't go to supermarket.
Okay,
Yes,
right.
but the sign of fish made he feel sick.
Okay. He couldn't go into supermarkets. The sight of fish made him feel sick. When he started going out with his wife, he had to ask her never to eat fish. He can't go to restaurants, so he only eat hamburgers, bars now. It made life very difficult for his family. His wife want to eat fish, but she's afraid of fish. Okay, it become crazy enough. Okay, number 4. What caused his panic attack?
When he saw someone eating an oyster and he had picnic attack.
Okay, he saw someone eating an oyster. Okay, then he feel, oh, what happened? Shaking hand and everything. Okay, number 5. Had he tried to cure his phobia? Yep. Had he tried to
Yes,
cure it?
he started to see psychologist, but
Mhm.
he haven't success.
Okay. Okay, this one, he started to see a psychologist. Psy, this one, we pronounce psy, cold, psychologist. Okay, psychologist, psychotherapist. Okay, but he hasn't succeeded in overcome, win over the phobia yet. Okay, so now let's practice ask and answer the question again. So I would like to ask the questions, and I want uh who should I ask now? Okay, so I would call Pejada, you read the answer, all right? Here we go. Number 1. Which part of the cartoon would make him panic?
Um, the fish.
Number 2. How did his phobia start?
He isn't sure when it started. His dad used to go fishing, and Gavin didn't like watching him cleaning the fish. When he was about 7, he started feeling afraid when he saw his dad coming home with the fish.
All right. Number 3. How does it affect his life?
He couldn't go into supermarket. The size of fish made him feel sick. When he started going out with his wife, he had to ask
To
her
ask.
never to eat fish. He can't go to restaurants, so he only eat in hamburger bars now. It's make life very different for his family.
Okay. Number 4. What caused his panic attack?
He saw someone eating an oyster.
Number 5. Had he tried to cure his phobia?
He started to see a psychologist, but he hasn't success in conquering the phobia yet.
Okay, thank you very much. All right, so number 2 here for Gavin, I'm gonna read the script for you, and after this, I'm gonna ask one of you to read out. Okay, now let's start. I'm not sure what first started my phobia, but my dad used to go fishing, and afterwards, I didn't like watching him cleaning the fish in the kitchen sink. Then, when I was about 7, I started feeling afraid when I saw him coming home with the fish. He had to stop catching it. As I grew up, the problem got worse and worse. I couldn't go in the supermarkets. The size of fish made me feel sick. When I started going out with my wife, I had to ask her never go to eat fish. Never to eat fish. I dare not to. I dare not go to the restaurant because one, I saw someone eating an oysters and I had a picnic attack. I can only eat a hamburger bars now. It makes life very difficult for my whole family. I started to see a psychologist, but I haven't succeeded in conquering my phobia yet. Okay, now, Srimom, I want you to read again, please.
Number 2, Gavin. I'm not sure what first started my phobia, but my dad used to go fishing, and afterwards, I didn't like watching him cleaning the fish in the kitchen sink. Then, when I was about 7, I started feeling afraid when I saw him coming home with the fish. He had to stop catching it. As I grew up, the problem got worse and worse. I couldn't go into supermarkets. The sight of fish made me feel sick. When I started going out with my wife, I had to ask her never to eat fish. I daren't go to restaurants because once I saw something eating an oysters and I had a panic attack. I can only eat in hamburger bars now. It makes life very difficult for my whole family. I've started to see a psychologist, but I haven't succeeded in conquering my phobia yet.
All right, thank you very much. Okay, so now let's go to the last one, Malaysia. All right. Okay, so now let's start with the first question. Which part of the cartoon would make her panic?
Balloons.
The balloon, okay? Okay, the balloon. And how did her phobia start?
When she was 5 years
When she was 5 years old, all right? Her phobia started when she was 5 and she was trying to blow one up and it popped in her face. Right, it popped up in her face. Okay, number 3. How does it affect her lives?
In fact that she cannot go to the party. If she goes, she asks them to don't have a balloon. And she also cannot see them in the TV. When she sees it, she starts to shake.
Okay, thank you very much. Her friend chased her with a balloon because they think it's fun to see her cry. She can't go to party if they have balloons. She can't imagine ever blowing up a balloon. She can't look at balloons on TV without shaking. Wow, it's serious. Okay, number 4. What caused her picnic attack? Yep.
The cause of her picnic attack is last time she and her friend were in a school playground and she had a panic attack. At first, they refused to believe her and they didn't get to see her, but then they saw how bad it was. She was having difficulty breathing and they got frightened.
Okay. When someone chased her with a balloon. Okay, your answer is also correct, but it is very long. Okay, you explain everything. But the picnic attacks that she got when someone chased her with a balloon, right? In the class. Okay, number 5. Has she tried to cure her phobia?
She won. She won also, but she not yet.
Yeah.
Um,
Okay, she wants to see a doctor, a professional about it. Her teachers agrees, but she hasn't, right?
yes.
Contacted anyone. Okay, so now let's start a conversation first. I wanna practice this with Sakon. Sakon, I read the question and you read the answer, right?
Yeah, teacher.
Okay, now let's start with number one. Which part of the cartoon would make her picnic?
The balloon.
How did her phobia start? Oh, what happened now?
Oh, sorry.
You forgot. Oh,
Sorry. Her phobia. Her phobia started when she was 5. She was trying to blow one up and it's popped in her face.
it popped, not poppy. Okay, pop in her face. Okay, number three. How does it affect?
Teacher.
Yes, hello. Okay, number three. How does it affect her life?
Teacher.
Hello, Sukon. What happened? Okay, everyone, can you hear me?
Yes,
Yes,
I
sir.
hear you,
Oh,
sir.
okay. I think Sukon has the difficulty in I think hearing me. So I would ask other students to practice this with me. So I think I would like to call Mr. Kanti. So one, oh, not Kanti. So Wanati.
Oh, I don't know what happened to my internet teacher. So her friend, her...
Oh, okay. Okay, go on.
Hello, teacher. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Please don't worry. Just read your answer. Oh, what happened? I think maybe she pressed on mute or she.
Yeah, teacher.
Yeah, okay. Can you hear? Okay, I think you can turn off your microphone, Sukon.
Today
Maybe.
my internet is so poor, teacher. I cannot tell.
Okay, that's okay then. So you just listen. Maybe you press on the like what is it? Your phones. There are three buttons. Maybe you press on the. We have three.
I can hear you, but not clearly, teacher.
Okay, that's okay then. So I cannot practice with you. I will practice with another one. All right? Because if we just keep talking about this, we cannot continue our lesson. You get what I mean? Okay, so now I will ask, we have a conversation with, I say a lot of students on hold. Okay, Suwanati. Hello, Suwanati?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so now let's start. You read the answer, okay? Which part of the cartoon would make her picnic?
The balloon.
Okay, how did her phobia start?
Her phobia started when she was 5. She was trying to blow one up and it popped in her face.
Okay, number three, how does it affect her lives?
Her friends chase her with balloons because they think it's fun to see her cry. She can't go to parties if they have balloons. She can't imagine ever blowing up a balloon. She can't look at balloons on TV without shaking.
Okay, number four, what caused her picnic attack?
Someone chased her with a balloon.
Okay, have she tried to cure her phobia?
She wants to see a doctor or professional about it. Her teachers agree.
Okay, thank you very much. So right now, let's practice reading together. Number three, Malaysia. I am 13 years old and I've been terrified of balloons since I was 5. I was trying to blow up one and it popped in my face. I can remember feeling the rubbers on my skin. It was awful. My friends don't understand. They enjoy chasing me around with blown up balloons because they think it's fun to see me cry. Last time they was in school playgrounds and I had a picnic attack. At first they refused to believe me and they didn't get the teachers, but then they saw how bad it was. I was having difficulty breathing and they got frightened. The worst thing it is that I can't go to parties. If I do, I have to ask them not to have balloons. I can't imagine ever blowing one up. I can't even look at them on TV. I start to shake. I want to see somebody about it. I want to see somebody about it. My teacher say I have to. Okay, Dương Hướng, please read again.
I'm 13 years old and I have been terrified of balloons since I was 5. I was trying to blow one up and it pooped in my face. I can't remember feeling the rubber on my skin. Oh, it was awful. My friends don't understand. They enjoy chasing me around with blown up balloon because they think it is fun to see me cry. Last time we were in the school playground and I had a panic attack. At first, they refused to believe me and they didn't get the teacher. But then they saw how bad it was. I was having difficulty breathing and they got frightened. The worst thing is that I can't go to Paris. If I do, I have to ask them not to have balloon. I can't imagine ever blowing one up. I can't even look at them on TV. I start to shake. I want to see somebody about it. My teacher say I have to.
Okay, thank you very much. You know, this is actually listening and speaking skill, but ask you to practice reading a lot. You have to remember that reading is one of the most important skills that you have to master. The more you read, the more you get idea, the more you improve your reading skill, the more you improve your vocabulary, the more you improve your writing skill as well. So keep reading, everyone, uh, if you want to be great at English. Okay, so now let's go to the next one. If you have any question from these 5 questions of Jody, Gavins, and Malaysia, do you have any questions?
No, teacher.
All right, so if you don't have, let's go to what do you think? General knowledge. So discuss these questions in groups. Right now you are at home, so we don't need to do it in groups, do it individually. There are 4 questions. Question number 1, which of the 3 people do you think has the most difficult phobia to live with? Why? So um, Gavin, Malaysia, and Jody, which one got the most difficult phobia? Okay, number 2, why do people get phobias? Number 3, why do some people and not others get them? Why do some people not get them, not other get them? Number 4, how do you think they can be cured? Suggest idea. Okay, so these are very difficult discussions, and it's not that easy. You need some time to think. So I think you can have around 10 minutes to answer these 4 questions. And after that, I would like you to take pictures of it and uh, share it on the conversation section here. All right. Once you finish, I want you to upload your answer right here. Hello, everyone. Can you follow?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. So now I think we've been together for 4 or 5 weeks, but the student that I read the answer on this conversation chat, he is the same student. So I want to see the difference now. And hopefully you all can upload your answer right here. So I can, select the best to read and share the answer with your classmates. Okay, everyone? Okay, now you have 10 minutes. You have 10 minutes. All right, and we will check the answer together. Okay, 12 minutes, I think. We will check the answer together at 10:00. And I only read your answer that you share or upload on this conversation chat. Okay, if you have question, you can ask. If you don't have question, you can start doing it right now.
Teacher,
Yes.
hello, teacher.
Yeah, hello, please.
Can you explain again because my internet so poor. I can't listen.
Okay, just answer the question number 1 until number 4. So number 1 here, the question is about the 3 phobia that you just listened. One from Jody, Malaysia, and Gavin. Which one do you think is the most difficult phobia to live with? Yeah, you just think. The button, the balloon, and fish. And question number 2, why do people get phobias? This is your own opinion. Number three, why some people don't get it? Mean they don't believe it. Why you are scared of balloon, scared of fish, something like that? Why? And number four, how do you think they can be sure? Suggest idea. Sure. Sure mean treat it here. Get away from that phobias. You conquer that phobia. How? Okay, you have 12 minutes and we will check the answer at 10. And I want you to write the answer in your notebook and then upload your answer right here. Okay, please do it right now. Thank you. Okay, everyone. Now we have. It is time to check. All right. So here we go. Oh, we have only one student here. Oh, the only one student upload the answer here. What happened?
I just answer. I'm not.
What is it? What is it? If you have two answer, you can upload two answer. You have three, upload three answer. If you have all, upload all. You don't need to wait because now time is over.
Teacher, for me, I sent to your personal because I don't have in group.
Ah, are you sure? But I suppose you don't have group. I already add your name in the group.
Yeah, but I have only in Monday to Friday. I don't know how to change.
Oh, I see. To my personal. Where could I find my personal here? But that's okay. So now I have the answer from Jum Hương, right? Okay, now let's look at this answer together. Only one answer. Okay, now I think Malaysia is the worst. Malaysia what? Malaysia phobia, right? Apostrophe and then you add phobia. Hello, Jum Hương?
Yes, teacher.
Not Malaysia is the worst. I think Malaysia's. You can put apostrophe s and phobia. I think Malaysia's, or you can just, because it is in the context of question, you don't need to write phobia again. You just put apostrophe and s. I think Malaysia's is the worst. Want to live with because it hard for her when she want to join a party or watching TV. She has to careful everything. Okay, this is your opinions. That's okay, no problem. All right, but we can live without party, right? We can live without party. We can live without watching TV. For me, balloon is not a big deal because we can live without it. But like button, you cannot live without it, correct? Because you have to wear clothes, and your family member have to wear clothes. Everyone around you have to wear clothes, and you see button everywhere. That would be you know, hard for you to survive. The one. And also the fish you have to eat every day, but that's okay. Your answer is all right. Number two, because maybe they met the worst situation when they were young and it terrified. Okay, and for this you should say because they have mud. They have mud, right? Because they have mud the worst situation in their life, and they cannot stop thinking about it again and again. All right. Okay. Number three, because people think that it's simple phobia and it is a common, right? A simple one, and they think it won that verse. Won that verse. I think it won. It is not that verse, all right? It is not that verse. Moreover, maybe they don't believe it. Yes, correct. Okay, the last one, they have to meet psychologists. In Cambodia, it's hard to find psychologists, I guess, to discuss their problem and tell a family members and friends to encourage them. All right. Okay, that's okay. Acceptable, your answer. Okay, we have more now. Savanati. Let's look at Savanati. Wow, very long in 10 minutes. Very good. So now let's start with number one. I think the most difficult phobia to live with is the fear of burden, right? Okay, because in everyday life we always see, no need to say will, that people are wearing clothes with bond, and it's hard to see one without it at work. Okay, correct. Normally at work, people always dress in suit, and since you are afraid of bond, it's hard for you to work with them, right? Okay, you go to work and then you feel constantly fears there. How can you work? That is troublesome for you. Number two, people get phobias because they had fear or afraid of something since they were a kid. Yeah, possibly. Okay. So then you have to use present perfect with this one, right? They have had fear or afraid of some. They have been fear or afraid of something since they were kid. Okay, and number three, because some people might have a bad childhood, like when they were a kid, they nearly drowning or insect bite, okay, bitten by the insect, which can cause them phobia. But some people don't get them because they were just afraid or fear of something, but they didn't meet or happen to them. Okay, if it doesn't happen to you, you don't feel it, right? When somebody got it and then you don't believe it, right? This is the meaning from Mr. Savanti. And I think they should go and meet professional of the phobias to talk about it, and they will find a way to cure it. Okay, thank you very much, Saptibor. All right, then we go to Sing. Okay, amongst the three people above, I think Gavin has the most difficult phobia to live with because he's scared of fish. For someone who like fish like me, I couldn't struggle to live with him. Even himself find it difficult for the whole family, especially his wife. Okay, now I want to ask Sing. Hello, Sing.
Yes, teacher.
Suppose that you are in love with a man who is in phobia of fish. Are you going to marry him?
I think no.
I think no. Even you love him so much, you cannot sacrifice yourself for him. Yeah.
Because I love eating fish and I eat it every day, so I cannot struggle to live with it.
Okay, I got it. Okay, number two. I think people get phobias because of they used to have any negative experience or panic attacks related to specific things or objects or any situations. Even genetics. What is it here? Genetics, environments, past incidents, or drama can develop them to get phobias. All right, very good answer. Use a lot of good words as well. And number three, in my points of view, people who not get phobia, it's because of they never faced with any negative experience or without negative experience can get them afraid of fear of it. It can be about genetic. You mean genetic, right? Genetic. All right, and feeling too.
Yes, teacher.
Okay, very good. Okay, number four, they can be sure, therefore, they can be sure their phobia. Their phobia can be sure, actually, yeah. Um, by meeting psychotherapists, and I suggest them to meet a psychotherapist and try to face it with little by little. They could conquer it finally. Okay, thank you very much. And we have more here. Wow, a lot. Okay, and okay, I am not going to read all, so okay, I will read Sayon here. Okay, Sayon, I think Jody has the most difficult phobia to live with because it is hard to buy clothes when she goes to the market, and it's hard. It hard here. Hard is adjective, you know. You need to put apostrophe s. Okay, Sayon.
Yes, teacher.
Okay, adjective. For her to control her eyes with the other people to control her eye. Okay, not control her eye. Okay. She cannot avoid it, right? She cannot avoid seeing people wearing clothes with button on. Okay, the people get phobias because of they have if you plus if you use they have negative experience, then you should not say because of. If you want to say because of, you say that like this. People get phobia because of negative experience. You get it or not? Now, if you want to use a
Yes.
sentence, you have to delete off because they have a negative experience or panic attacks related to specific objects or situation. Or you have similar answer with sing, right? Some people are not getting phobia because they are strong enough and can control their emotions. Okay, thank you very much. Three answer. Wow, a lot here, but I read only one more. I will read Srimom. The more you can read at home, more by yourself, guys. Okay. I think Gavin has the most difficult phobia to live with because he can't eat fish. But everybody need to eat fish for food. Okay. Not just only eat, just eating the fish is not comfortable for him. If you can't eat fish and you can see it, that's okay, no problem. Like a lot of vegetarian people, they don't eat meat, they don't eat fish, they don't eat kind of animals, but they can go to the markets, they can see pork, beef, fish, they can eat at the table with those who are eating meat as well. They just don't eat meat, but they are not phobia of them. But for Mr. Gavin here, even seeing fish is terrify him. It's not that easy to live with that. Okay, number two, people get phobia because they are shocked with something that they can't control their feeling since they were young, or even now. Some people and not other get them because they can control their feeling, right? You can control. I think they can be sure because now our country is very modern, so can cure for them. Can cure what? The feeling. If you afraid of snake, now for example, if you are phobia of snake, many of you do. So how can you cure them? Buy, you can go to the market, buy snakes, the alive one, and keep it in your house, see it every day. Or what? Some phobias is really hard to cure. You are right. You can get consultant or psychotherapy, psychologist to help you dealing with the problem. But somehow something is even hard, to cope with. You just avoid it. Okay, so can we study without a break, everyone? Hello?
Yes, teacher.
Is it okay? And I just want to ask everyone, study without break here. Is it all right, ladies and gentlemen?
It's okay for me, teacher.
Okay, so hopefully it's okay for everyone. Okay, now let's continue. Study without break is fun, right? Reading and speaking, dangerous journeys in history. Now we don't talk about just please don't talk about history yet. Let's just say experience with each other. Have you ever been to somewhere, you know, dangerously, like you like go adventurous at some places and you feel scared of something or the environment is was not comfortable for you? Have you ever? Anyone would like to share the experience? Okay, so I would like to share one of my experience. It's not, it was not a dangerous journey. It was just like a scaring journey for me that I could not, I still, feel it when I think about it. Maybe in 2017, I went to India alone, by flight. And I arrived at the Indian airport, Kolkata, at around 11 at night, you know, 11 at night. It was crowded there at the airport, but when I got out of the airport, it was very dark and I don't know where to go at that time. And I just walked around with one of my friends. He came to pick up me. Actually, he's Lao, but he lives in India. He picked up me at the airport and he said that his place is very far. It takes around 8 hours to travel. So we have to stay in the city. I mean, in that city. And before we decided to stay in the city, we tried to look for the transport. So there are a lot of train stations, bus stations, taxi, and everything. But the taxi, they did not go far uh, to the place that we want to go. So he said, no, it's too far now. It's at night, and the train station already closed. And when we went to the train station, it was shock. You know, I feel very shocked because there are a lot of people just sleeping on the ground in the train stations, and I feel like, wow, it's so. I feel like, oh, I am in danger now because I'm look different, right? And at that time, I wear the backpack. And when I walk into the train stations, when I check my bag already unzipped. Means someone already unzipped my bag. And at that time, I got into the train station with a bottle of water, and a group of men. I don't know where they are gangster or not. They just came to me and um uh just get the water forcefully from me and drink without saying any word. Oh, I was in danger. I can be killed here or I can be robbed here. Right. So I was so, scared at that moment. And then we got a taxi to the bus station at that, around 12 or at 1. And we could not find any transport to go to our destination. And then we decided to sleep there one night. I slept there with fear. And early morning, we can find the transport at around 9 a.m. and we can travel to the place. So it was the danger. It can be dangerous journeys because I was alone at that time. Travel from not travel from Cambodia, travel from Malaysia to India, right? So it was scary. How about you? How about you guys? Okay, now I want to hear from. Okay, I want to hear from Rachana. Rachana, can you share with us your journeys, the journeys that you still remember now? It can be good, it can be bad. You don't need to talk just about a dangerous journey. You can talk about anything.
Yeah, teacher. I'm afraid of when travel go back to my home. I stay at Phnom Penh and I go back home and I ride a bus alone with the people that I don't know. And at night when I come home, it's difficult for me when I sit on the bus and it like the boy like girl only one or two and like a boy child and I am afraid of them.
You feel like you are a cat and they are lions.
Yes.
Okay, okay, all right. That yeah, in India is very dangerous. There are a lot of problem happen in the bus. Even people get raped, by a group of people in the bus during the daytime, even not nighttime. In Cambodia, it is much safer than India, than other countries. But luckily, you didn't have any problem with that. And please don't try to travel at night. It is not good for you to travel at night.
Yeah, teacher.
Okay. Yeah, you can avoid it easily. Okay, now I want to hear from Chilika.
Yes, teacher.
No? Okay, only yes, teacher, right, and then no more. Okay, now we continue. Now, number 1, close your eyes. Oh, this one we ask you to close your eye. Imagine you are one of the 90,000 people. You are traveling together. So you are traveling together with 90,000 people on foot. On foot, right? No motorbike, no bicycle, no airplane, no trains, but on foot over mountains, river, and plains. It's winter. What problem would you face? Okay, so for this, I think you can have around I think I give you 4 minutes to think about them. There are a lot of problems you can face on the journeys. So we will check the answer at 10:24. So I just want you to draft or brainstorm what are the problems you're gonna face during this journey. Okay, guys, please do it. You can write in your notebook. Okay, so now we can check the answer. Now I want you to list down the problem that you probably face during the journey. Okay, let's share the answer with the class. Let's start with Funan. Funan? Ow, what happened? Okay, so Wanari?
Extra, I think if I traveling together with nine
90,000.
yeah 90,000 people on foot over mountain, rivers, and plain. In winter, I think that it is good when we travel together, but I think it's not really good if when once they want like move to another place, we cannot move together. But and then when we go back home, I mean that when if we go back home and we like I don't know how to say in English, but only I can say it's my experience. I travel only 10 people, but I still forget one people at that place. So imagine that have a lot of people. So when we come back home, I cannot imagine. Maybe I am go to bathroom and then they forget me. So that's why I feel so afraid when travel a lot of with a lot of people.
Okay, so what you are scared of after you return home, there may be someone still there. You mean like that?
Yeah, teacher. Yes.
Okay, so how about the problem that can be existed during the journey? During, not when you return home.
I think it if like when we travel we need to know and we need to place and look around the place, but have a lot have many people at there, maybe like yes, we travel to learn, we travel to know about the place, but when we go with many people, maybe some people cannot get the points, like cannot get I don't know how to say in English, but
You not got the point. What do you mean get point?
I mean that is that place have guys, and then many people cannot listen only one guy to only one guys mean oh, I don't know how to say it. I don't know how to speak in English.
Okay,
I'm
okay,
sorry.
that's okay. So your answer are good. So we'll listen to other student. Okay, so Raymond, how about you? What problems would you face during the journey? Now, what happened now? Okay, how about pizza then?
Yes.
Okay, what problem?
If we traveling together with south 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 80 90,000, right?
Yes.
90,000 person, and so I think it is not very good because it is so many, and sometimes when we travel together, some we will forget some people, and when we example that we climb up on the mountain, and after that we come down, so we need to count people. So it's very difficult.
Oh,
And I
if you have one leader, that would be very difficult. So example, you have one leader here. This leader for 90,000 people. And then this leader, you have small leader again. We have nine leader, one leader, 1,000, one leader, 1,000, one leader, 1,000. Okay. And then you have one more leader under this one again. One here for 100 people. And in under one here, they have one for 10. So 10 people is okay. So one look for 10, and the big one here look for 100, and this one look for 100, and this one look for all. So they get report from them. If someone miss, they will know very well. You have to break down if you are in a group. Okay.
yeah,
If you are a
it's
leader, you cannot do everything with that. You have to do something smart, and then there's no problem with that. So the problem they may face maybe with food, because too many
yeah,
people, correct?
yes, teacher. It's
Yeah,
so
with
many.
food. Yeah, if they meet something like dangers or flood or everything, they cannot help each other because there are too many people, and they may take a lot of times to travel from one place to another place. Right or wrong?
Yes,
Yeah, too many
yes,
people. You have to wait. If you a rifle, you have to wait for other as well. Okay. Okay, here are the possible problem. Keeping everyone together, beating the colds and hunger, crossing difficult terrain. Terrain means road, right? Terrain road here, for us in the city, we call road, but terrain here refer to the, we also can call road, but it is in the forest. It is not a road constructed by concrete or anything. Animal may walk through the terrain. Finding suitable places to camp. Too many people, how can you sleep at night? It's very difficult, right? It is very difficult to find a good place for you to sleep together, right? And keeping everyone moral up. Okay, so now keeping everyone moral up. So some people, they have very bad mind, they cheat, they steal, they make troubles in the groups, right? They cause some problems in the group, so it is very hard to control with big numbers. Even you have a good management skill, you need to be careful because some people may have a very bad mind and they just want to cause problem. Okay, these are possible problem you may think of. You have more, all right? Okay, let's go to the next one. This is the reading of the journey of two men in the history. And the first one is Hannibal cross the Alps, and Mao Zedong. Mao Zedong, right? Can you read this name? Mao Zedong. Okay, and the Long March. So he have to, travel from. You can look at the map here. See here, he have to travel from one place to another place, very far. And for Hannibal here, he has to travel from see here, Carthago, up until this, very far. So this is a long journey, very dangerous as well. So now let's practice reading this together. But I have the video on YouTube for you, so just watch, and then I will ask some of you to practice reading out. So please listen and practice along quietly. Are you ready to listen?
Yes, teacher.
Okay, here we go. So let's start with this one. Oh.
Early years.
Hannibal Barker was born in Carthage, North Africa, now a suburb of Tunis, Tunisia, in 247 BC. At that time, this once prosperous seaport was losing a long and exhausting war with the Romans over who should rule the western Mediterranean. His father, Hamilcar, was a general in the army, and it is said that he made his son promise to hate the Romans forever. The 23-year-long war was finally lost in 241 BC. Hannibal and his family moved to Spain, where the Carthaginians were trying to build a new empire. Hannibal grew up to be a bold and fearless fighter like his father, and eventually became commander of the army. In 218 BC, the Romans again threatened to attack. In a daring and dangerous plan, Hannibal decided to march from Spain to Italy before the Romans had even declared war. This march was to be a journey of 2,415 kilometers across both the Pyrenees and the Alps.
Crossing the Alps and the Long March. The journey. Hannibal crosses the Alps.
In May 218 BC, Hannibal left Spain with an army of about 90,000 men and 37 elephants, which he believed were needed to get them over the mountains. In the next few months, under his inspiring leadership, they marched through Spain to the Pyrenees and then to the south of France. They moved about 16 kilometers a day and were frequently attacked by local tribesmen. They reached the River Rhone and accomplished the unbelievable task of building huge rafts to ferry the elephants across. Some fell off,
but managed to swim using their trunks as snorkels. It was now autumn, and snow started to fall as they approached the Alps. The army, helped by the elephants, struggled on, slipping and sliding over ice and snow, over the main pass. Finally, they were in sight of Italy. Their 5-month journey at an end, Hannibal's army of 90,000 was reduced to 36,000. Over half his men had perished or deserted on the way. Winter storms now killed all but one of his elephants.
Final years.
In some ways, Hannibal's march was hugely successful because he took the Romans by surprise and initially defeated them in numerous battles. However, after many years and many more battles, his army failed to overcome Rome's superior resources and manpower. Hannibal, who had been 29 at the start of his journey, sailed back to North Africa aged 45. He finally committed suicide in 182 BC, aged 65. Despite his final defeat, he is still recognized as one of the greatest military leaders in history.
Early years.
Mao Zedong, Mao Zedong, was born in Hunan province in southern China in 1893. His father was an ambitious but illiterate farmer who wanted his son to have the education he didn't have. At university, Mao became active in revolutionary student groups and in 1921 helped found the Chinese Communist Party. He established a base in the remote Jiangxi province where they formed the Red Army to fight against the nationalist government under Chiang Kai-shek. However, in 1934, after many bloody battles, they were forced to escape from the area. They set off on a remarkable journey, which became known as the Long March.
The Long March. Mao Zedong.
The march began on October the 16th. No one was sure where they were going, but 86,000 men and 30 women, including Mao's wife, set out to walk from the south to the north of China. The journey took 1 year, ending in the northwestern Shanxi province. They started the march quite well, armed with 33,243 guns, but 5 weeks later suffered their first disastrous defeat at the Xiang River crossing. They lost 56,000 men, and much of their equipment was thrown into the river. It was at this time that Mao Zedong became leader of both the Red Army and the Communist Party. He was a tough but popular leader. One of the worst experiences was crossing the Great Snowy Mountains, 5,000 meters high. Many men died from lack of oxygen. Exhausted, they knew that to stop to rest meant certain death. If they managed to reach the top, it was best to sit down and slide to the bottom on the ice. Many men were catapulted over cliffs. It was now September 1935, and the army had to cross the marshland between the Yangtze and Yellow rivers. It looked innocent, covered with flowers. But beneath the flowers were bogs that could swallow a man in a minute. Mao lost more men during this 7-day trek than in the snowy mountains. Eventually, on October the 19th, after marching for 370 days and 12,500 kilometers, they reached Shanxi province. Of the 86,000 who began, only 4,000 remained.
Later years.
The Long March began the ascent to power of Mao Zedong. On October the 1st, 1949, he proclaimed the People's Republic of China, and the Great Cultural Revolution followed. This radically changed every aspect of Chinese society. In October 1966, Mao's Little Red Book was published, and his ideas were taught throughout the country. Mao's image was displayed everywhere, in homes, offices, shops and streets. He finally died on September the 9th, 1976, aged 82.
Teacher, I cannot hear you.
Teacher, you put on the move.
Yes. Thank you very much. We already watch and listens to the two men here, and right now let us practice reading together. All right. So we're gonna start with Hannibal crossing the Alps. Who volunteer to read? Everyone.
Me, teacher.
Okay, please. Okay, let's sing. You can start with Hannibal.
Early years. Hannibal Barca was born in Carthage, North Africa, now on the survey of Tunisia in 247 BC. At the time, this once prosperous seaport was losing a long and exhausting war with the Romans over who should rule the Western Mediterranean. His father, Hamilcar, was a general in the army, and it is said that he made his son promise to hate the Romans forever. The 23-year-long war was finally lost in 241 BC. Hannibal and his family moved to Spain, where the it is Carthaginians were trying to build a new empire. Hannibal grew up to be a bold and fearless fighter like his father, and eventually became a commander of the army. In 218 BC, the Romans again threatened to attack. In a daring and dangerous plan, Hannibal decided to march from Spain to Italy before the Romans had even declared war. This march was to be a journey of 2,415 kilometers across both the Pyrenees and the Alps.
Okay, thank you very much. For the journey, who volunteer to read? The second one, journey. Hello, please. Hello. Okay, so no one, I have to call you. Okay, so Vulnerable Tat, I want you to read the early journey. Sorry, the journey.
Yes, teacher. In May 2018 BC. Oh, sorry, teacher. 218 BC. Hannibal left Spain with an army of about 900 men and 37 elephants, which he believed were needed to get them over the mountains. In the next few months, under his inspiring leadership, they marched through Spain to the Pyrenees and then to the south of France. They moved about 16 kilometers a day and were frequently attacked by local shipments. They reached the river Rhone and accomplished the unbelievable task of building huge rafts to ferry the elephant across. Some fell off but managed to swim using their trunks as a snorkel. It was now autumn and now started to fall as they approached the Alps. The army, half by the elephants, struggled on, slipping and sliding over ice and snow. Over the main pass, finally they were in sight of Italy. Their 5 months journey had an Hannibal's army of 90 hundreds were reduced to 36,000. Over half his men had perished or deserted on the way. Winter storm now killed all but one of his elephants.
Okay, thank you very much, Venerable. The next one, Sayon. Final years.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Final years. In some ways, Hannibal's might was only successful because he took the Romans by surprise and initially defeat them in the. Sorry, teacher, because my internet is so slow, so I cannot see clear of the passage,
Oh,
teacher.
do you have textbook? Do you have textbook, Sayon?
Yeah, I have, but my textbook is not with me now.
Oh, okay. Continue, then continue.
Okay, Meverus battle. However, after many years and many more battles, his army failed to overcome Rome's suppressed resources and manpower. Hannibal, who has been 29 at the start of his journey, sailed back to the North Africa, X45. He finally committed success in 182 BC, X65. Despite his final defeat, he is still recognized as one of the greatest military leaders in history.
History, not history. History.
Yeah, history.
Okay, thank you very much. We cannot practice over and over again. I will send you the link of the video, reading the whole thing here for you, and you can practice at home more, right? Okay, now let's go to the next one about Mao Zedong. Okay, who volunteered to start first with early years? Hello?
Yeah. Can I?
Okay, so one day, if you volunteer, please. Who said I am at the moment and now just mute yourself? What happened?
Me, teacher.
Okay, please then.
Okay. Macedons has sorry. Macedons and the long march 19th 1893 1946 early year. Macedon was born in
Hello?
Hunan.
Hello. Is it 46 years? 76?
Oh, 76. Oh, sorry.
Oh, what happened?
I don't know. Okay. Could I read again, teacher? Okay. Earlier, Macedon was born in Hunan province in southern China in 1893. His father was an ambitious but illiterate farmer who wanted his son to have the education he didn't have. At university, Miles became active and in revolutionary students group and in 1921 have found the Chinese Communist Party. He established a base in the remote Chinchai province, where they formed the Red Army to fight a Chin and nationalist government under Chiang Kai-shek. However, in 1834, after
Sorry,
many.
not 18, not 18, 19.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, you are not good with the number.
My eyes. 1934, after many bloody battles, they were forced to escape from the areas. They set off on the remarkable journey, which became known as the Long March.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, how about the long march? This one I want to call gentleman. So I want to call Mr. Thun. I want you to read loudly, please. Oh, Mr. Thun, you cannot hear me, right? Okay, so I will call. Okay, so Wanati, read the long march,
Okay,
please.
yes, the long march. The march began on October 16. No one was sure where they were going, but 86,000 men and 30 women, including Mao's wife, set out to walk from the south to the north of China. The journey took 1 year, ending in the northwestern Jiangxi province. They started the march quite well, armed with 33 and 243 guns, but 5 weeks later suffered their first disastrous defeat at the Jiang River crossing. They lost 56,000 men, and much of their equipment was thrown into the river. It was at this time that Mao Zedong became leader of both the Red Army and the Communist Party. He was a tough but popular leader. One of the worst experiences was crossing the Great Snowy Mountains, 5,000 meters high. Many men died from lack of oxygen, exhausted. They knew that to stop to rest meant certain death. If they managed to reach the top, it was best to sit down and slide to the bottom of on the ice. Many men were catap- um, catapulted over cliffs. It was now September 1935, and the army had to cross the marshland between the Yangtze and Yellow rivers. It looked innocent, covered with flowers, but beneath the flower were bugs that could swallow a man in a minute. Mao lost more men during this seventh trek when they trekked than in the snowy mountains. Eventually, on October 19, after marching for 370 days and 12,500 kilometers, they reached Shaanxi province. Of the 86,000 who began, only 4,000 remained.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, now the last one. Um, anyone volunteer? Okay, if no volunteer, we'll call Fuhan. Fuhan?
Yes, teacher. Later year, the long march began the ascent to power of Mao Zedong on October 1st, 1949. He proclaimed the People's Republic of China and the Great Cultural Revolution followed. This radically changed every aspect of Chinese society. In October 1966, Mao's little red book was published, and his ideas were taught throughout the country. Mao's image was displayed everywhere in home offices, shops, and streets. He finally died on September 9, 1976, aged 82.
Okay, thank you very much. And in order to improve your reading skill, everyone, is only reading. Please try to read as much as you can, as often as you can. That helps you a lot in improving your English. You know, sometimes we like to remember the vocabulary, remember the sentence structures. Yes, it is good to do so. But if you read, you're gonna pick up vocabulary and sentence structures automatically. That is important. That is the benefits of reading. Okay, so I'm not going to read for you again, and you can practice more. I'm gonna send you the video of this whole thing. Now we go to the questions. All right. Okay, here this is a question that you are going to read about two. We already read actually. Hannibal's Barca and Mao Zedong. They both undertook a remarkable journey. You know, remarkable mean noticeable, important. You know, journey with thousands of people. Look at the map. What difficult can you anticipate? So if you go back to the reading here, you just look at the map. Now, if you see the map, how they travel from one place to one place, they start with from Rujin here on the way to Hunan, and then to this part, and then go to Kuning, and then move to Great Snowy Mountain here, this part, and then up to what is it here? The city called Xingxie or whatever here. So it is a very long journey, very far, right? Okay, and if you look at Hannibal, his journey even that when I cross from one country to another country, start from Novo Gadago, all right, to this place, to this, all right, and then move along the way to Italy here, to Krontun, and then to Hadrumenun. So Africa, this place. So you see, there is very long journey. And the question for you, when you look at the map like this, all right, okay, when you look at the map like this, what difficulty can you think of? And anticipate mean you think of the kinds of difficulty. We already discussed this from exercise 1, so I'm not going to ask you. So crossing the mountains, possibly covered in snow, crossing river, running out of food. These are the problems that you can think of or anticipate, right, from the journey. Okay, let's look at number 3 here. We have student A and student B, but you can do them all since you are at home and not in the class. We have 4 questions. All right. First, read about the leader early year. So you read only the early year. Don't read everything. So each of them, they have different. Let's look at this. Okay, so let's go to the beginning here. So read only the early year. So early year of Hannibal and early year of Mao Zedong. And then answer the 4 questions. So now let's start here. Question number 1. How did his father influence his life? Okay, father influenced his life. Number 2, who were the enemy? Number 3, where did he move to? Number 4, why did they set off on such a long journey? Okay, Chilika, can you read the question again?
Number one, how did his father influence his life? Number two, who were the enemy? Number three, where did he move to? Number four, where did they set off on such a long journey?
Why, not where? Okay, and please read only the early years. So for this question, I think you can have around, I think maybe you can have 6 minutes. Can you do it in 6 minutes, right? Okay, 6 minutes. We will check the answer together at 10:05. Okay, 10:06, sorry. No, not 10. 11, sorry. 11:06. Okay, please do it right now.
Hello, teacher. Hello, teacher.
Hello, hello.
Teacher, can I leave? My phone is running out of the battery.
Okay, that's okay. You can leave and you can do the exercise. All right.
Yes, teacher.
Okay. Thank you.
Teacher,
Yes.
may I leave first because my phone is about to die now.
Oh, it's about to die. Okay, you can leave first, but please do the exercise. Answer all the questions because we have to finish everything today with this reading. Okay, Sing?
Yes, teacher. Yes.
Okay.
Thank you, teacher.
Yes, you are welcome. Okay, now time is up. Let's check the answer together. Now let's go to number one. Number one, how did his father influence his life? Start with Hannibal. Anyone can answer the question? Hello? Hello? Okay, now I have to call you then. Okay, let Pejada, can you do it? Number one, how did his father influence his life?
Yes, teacher. His father made he his father made him to promise to hate the Roman forever.
Okay, his father was a general in the army and a bold fighter, right? He made Hannibal promise to hate the Romans forever, and Hannibal became commander of the army and was also a fearless fighter. Okay. In number two, who were the enemy? This one for Srinik.
Number 2.
The enemy were
The enemy were Romans.
yeah, the Romans. The Romans.
Yes.
You can see in the answer number one already. Number three, where did he move to? Rachana.
Yeah, teacher. He moved to Spain.
He moved to Spain with his family. Okay,
Yeah.
number four, why did they set off on such a long journey? This one, Kamyan.
Yeah, teacher, because in 218 BC, the Roman against Britain to attack.
Returned to attack them, right? He
Yes.
planned to march from Spain to Italy because the Romans returned to attack. He wanted to reach Italy before the Romans declare war. Okay, very good. All right. Any question with this, everyone? Okay, so let's move to the next one. This is for Mao Zedong. Number one, how did his father influence his life? Venerable Tet. Oh, no answer. Okay, I will call Kantai. Oh, Srimong. Oh, what happened? Okay, so Wanari.
Sorry, teacher. At the moment, I'm not yet do.
Okay, sorry, teacher. At the moment, I was sleeping. Okay, Nitha. Nitha. Okay, how about Fuhan? Oh, what happened?
Teacher,
Yeah, Nitha, please.
number 1, right?
Yes, please.
Yes, teacher. His father was an ambitious but illiterate farmer who wanted his son to have the education he didn't have.
Perfect. His father was ambitious, you know. Father was ambitious, but illiterate. Illiterate means never, he had never been to school. He did not study anything, but he's ambitious. He wants something great for his son. And he wanted his son to have an education that he hadn't had. See, father, mother is, they are very, very important in your life. They don't have something, but they want you to have something. Okay, thank you, Nita. We go to the next one. Sion, number 2. Who were the enemy?
Number 2.
If you read the early year, I think early years of them, I think you can see the answer very clearly.
The agent, the nationalist government.
Okay, the nationalist government. Very good. Okay, number 3. Where did he move to? Sukunti. Kanya. Srila. Oh. Oh, now everyone is tired, I guess. Okay, Srinik again. Srinik, number 3. Where did he move to? Okay, so Wanti.
He moved to Jiangxi province.
Yeah, he moved to the remote Jiangxi province. Very good. Number 4. Why did they set off on such a long journey? I would call Suwanati again, please. Number 4.
Because they were forced to escape from the area.
Yes. So they had a lot of bloody battles, and so they had to escape from the area, right? They keep fighting, so they have to move on. Okay, thank you very much. This is the early years of Hannibal's and Mao Zedong's. Now we can go to the next one. They ask you to read the journey and answer the question. So when you read the journey, you have to go with the middle here only. For Hannibal, the journey is very short, but for Mao Zedong, the journey is very, very long. So you have to read these two and answer the questions. What question is it here? Okay, answer the questions. Okay, now let's look at the question together. Number 1, when did the journey start? Number 2, how many began it and who were there? Number 3, what kind of leader was he? Number 4, what problems did they face on the way? Number 5, how long did the journey last? Okay, how long refer to the duration. Number 6, how did it end and how many survive? Survive means still alive. Okay, I would like to ask Pajada to read all the question again for your friends.
Yes, teacher. Question 1. When did the journey start? 2. How many began it? Who were they? 3. What kind of leader was he? 4. What problem did they face on the way? 5. How long did the journey last? 6. How did it end? How many survived?
Survive. Okay, so for this one, please read only the journey. Okay, oh my God. Okay, the journey part, all right? And then answer the questions. How many minutes do you want for this? I think I will give you 1 minute. Is it enough for you? Okay, so 1 minute. So we will check the answer at 11:22. Okay, we check the answer at 11:22. All right? If you have question, you can ask. So if you don't have question, you can do it right now. Write the answer in your notebook. Okay, now time is up. Let's check the answer together. Number one, when did the journey start? If you have the answer, please help me because time is approaching to the end and we have to help each other in order to finish our lesson. So number one.
The journey started in May 218 BC.
Okay, May 218 BC. Okay, how about number two? How many began it and who were they?
There were army of about 90,000 men and 37 elephants.
Okay, Hannibal's and an army of 90,000 men and so 37 elephants. Okay, number three. What kind of leader was he?
I don't know.
Okay, he was an inspiring leader. Okay, he worked hard. Yeah, he's not lazy, and he always, you know, he always did as a model for his soldier. Okay, number three. What kind of number four? What problems did they face on the way?
They have to move about 16 kilometers a day and were frequently attacked by local tribesmen.
Okay, they were attacked by local tribesmen. They had to build raft to cross the river so Rhone to get the elephant across, and some fell off but were able to swim. They started to it started to snow and the elephant slid over the ice. Okay, water and ice. Okay, number five. How long did the journey last?
That's why I cannot find child.
Cannot find. How about the students?
Uh,
Mhm.
29 years, cha.
29 years, 5 months actually.
Oh.
But for the fighting, he started his journey when 29 at age 29. But this journey was 5 months. Okay, number six. How did it end? How many survive? How did it end?
Then they were inside of Italy.
Okay, how many survive?
Mm, 36,000.
Or less than a half here. So 36 men arrived and only one of the elephant. Over half of the men die or desert. Okay. So these are the answer. We can practice more again next week, or you can practice, watching the video and do the exercise as we are in a hurry to finish this one. So let's now, with this one, we finish with Hannibal. Let's go to Mao Zedong. Okay, Mao Zedong, when did the journey start?
On October
Yes, October 16, 1934. Okay, recently here, less than 100 years. Now 2021, less than 100 years. Okay, how many began it and who were they? Yes.
They were began with 86,000 men and 30 women, include Mao's wife.
Okay. Mao Zedong and 86,000 men and 30 women. Wow, a lot of men, but only 30 women, including Mao's wife. Okay, number three. What kind of leader was he?
He was a popular leader.
Yes. Mao became leader of Red Army and the Communist parties during the march. He was tough but popular. very strict and popular. Okay, number 4. What problems did they face on the way?
Crossing the Great Snowy
Yeah, Great Snowy. What else?
and like many men die from lack of the oxygen.
Oxygen. Okay, very long answer here. They wasn't sure where they were going. They lost 56,000 and much of the equipment when crossing the Sheng River. Many men died from lack of oxygen when crossing the Great Snowy Mountains. They were exhausted, but they couldn't stop. Many men fell off the mountain when sliding down them. They were both under the grassland between the Yangtze and the Yellow Rivers. Mouse lost more men here than on the snowy mountains. Okay, we can review it later on. Number 5, how long did the journey last? 300, more than a year, right? 370 days. And number 6, how did it end? How many survived? 4,000 people arrived, means still survive. Okay, and the rest we're gonna continue from next week. And now I think many of you are tired. Your phone batteries are very low, and we have been studying without break as well. So thank you very much. Hopefully you review the lessons and practice doing more exercises in the book. And I'm gonna send you the recording lecture here tonight, hopefully. Okay, bye bye everyone. Have a good day.
Goodbye, teacher.
Goodbye,
Okay,
sir.
bye.
Goodbye.
Good luck.
Goodbye,
Bye bye.
teacher.
Bye bye. Thank you very
Goodbye,
much.
teacher.
Okay, thank you
Okay,
very much. Bye bye. Good luck. See you. See you next. Bye bye. Fuhan. Bye bye. Kimni. Bye bye. Sokon. Borani. Bye bye. Oh, Kanya, you raise your hand. Any question? Kanya, bye bye.
Bye bye teacher.
Bye bye. I see you raise your hand. Okay, bye bye.